I learned, I think I was, 22 when I started that work. I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours. They could lose time from work, and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community. All because of the swipe of my pen. Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed. So I learned at a very young age the power. I learned.
Guys, I told you about this video. If you have not seen it, wow. We need to talk about this, right? Well, welcome to The Truth Simple. I'm Dave Corm, your host, and let's get rolling. And they say the truth will set you free. That was 2020 when she was running for president of the United States. Does that not scare you if she becomes president of the United States? She's already hinted to some of this stuff in the past as to what she's going to do. I mean, I got a ton of stuff. We're not going to look at it all right now. We're going to just kind of narrow it and kind of keep this hopefully to less than 30 minutes. I got, I think, 3 more videos that kind of branch off of this one. But you hear all these awesome commercials. I'm for the middle class. I want to move on to the future. Put the past behind me. That's the problem with the Democrats. They want to hide the past because it's all been bad. It's been really bad for all of us Americans, right? High inflation. Jobless counts are starting to go up. Unemployment. I just got a message from somebody I know yesterday. Hey, I just lost my job. Can you help me find a job? And I haven't heard that for a while from any of my friends. I have some links in the video production business and stuff. So what's happening? Everything's starting to crash. You see all these glorious commercials on the TV about let's set the past behind. We're moving forward. Yeah, we're moving forward into tyranny and more inflation and more lack of jobs and recession, and your dollar's not going to be worth anything to buy anything because it's just a piece of paper. I think Ronald Reagan talked about that. Hey, we're going to exchange all those coins in your pocket for a piece of paper. What we're living on right now, right? It's worthless. It buys nothing. I think it was in 1939. I did a stat on my last video that said a penny today is worth a dollar's worth 4 cents, what it was in 1939, and the actual dollar, $1 is equal to 2,000. I think it was $2,262. I could be slightly off there, but right around $2,200. So you could have bought $2,200 worth of stuff in 1939 that's costing you $2,200 today with a dollar back then. So anyway, our money is worthless, right? Guys, you need to wake up. She's telling you what she's going to do. All this fluff and stuff, I like that. Fluff and stuff that's going on right now, it's ridiculous. And if you're buying into that, how she loves America and how she's going to build 3 million houses when she just let 20 million people across the border and all the hotels and the almost $1 trillion spent, and she wants to take money out of Social Security to pay for them, giving them Social Security for never working a day in their life. Yes, that's what's coming your way. No new taxes. I'm not going to tax you. I'm the top, or she says, I'm not going to, or my tax benefit's going to help the 100 million. What about the other 240 million that live in the country, right? She says that in one of her ads. I have tax incentives that is going to help 100 million people, Americans. There's 340 million of us now. What about the other 240 million? We get nothing, right? That's the lower class. We get nothing. We get nothing. All this stuff. I'm going to go after the rich. Okay, sounds good. Why haven't you done it in 12 years? 16 years when you guys have been in power. Nothing. They don't go after the rich. I'm going to fight for your abortion rights, women. I am going to fight. I'm going to fight. What have you done? Nothing other than promise you. Nothing. Zero. They do not care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about America. It's about exterminating America itself as a country, as a nation. Bringing all these people, tearing us apart, pushing us in left, right groups, and black, white, yellow, green, orange, purple groups, and different sexual groups. Now we got 30 of them instead of just the original 2 got God made. They're just ripping us apart and tearing us apart every which way they can. Religion, going after Christians, COVID. Oh, you know what? Let's shut down all the churches because that's bad. We'll keep all the medicinal marijuana plant places open so you guys can still use your drugs. And now what's coming out in that? A lot of things about how bad marijuana is for you. No, duh, it's smoking. You're putting stuff in your legs. You're going to get cancer. Yes. It's silly, folks, and you're falling for it. You're falling for it hard. You got to stop it. You just got to stop. I've said many times that, I'm not a huge Trump fan, but out of the alternatives between Trump and Kamala and the Democrats and the Republicans, I'm definitely going to the Republican side. So we can maybe even make it better than that going forward. But you have 2 options right now. You're either going to vote for one or not. You're going to sit on the fence. If you're on a fence, you need to get off and vote for the Republican side, the conservative side, the real people that have good heads on their shoulders, because that has been shown in the past to be successful here in the country. Every time we go back to conservatism, I was a Democrat. Ronald Reagan was a Democrat. Donald Trump was a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard, who's fighting as a Democrat. RFK Jr., I think still is a Democrat, but he's on the Republican side. When do you ever see that? It's when that side has gone off the deep end. They just got off the deep end. Why are you going to stay on that bandwagon? Why are you going to do that? Because you hate Trump so much? Is that common sense? You're willing to destroy everything in America because you hate Trump so much. That's ridiculous. That's like telling the guy that breaks into your house, hey, you can have a glass of water, but you can't take anything else out the house. Is that going to work? No, it's not. He's going to take whatever he wants, right? That's the same with the Democrats. They're going to take whatever they want. Oh, man, I'm just having too much fun with this. Let's look at another video. It's going to take me a second to kind of get this worked up here because I got to get out of the screen that I'm on right now. Let me see. Let's see if I can get out of that. Oh, come on, man. Work for me. Don't make it so hard. All right. And let me see. Ooh. There we go. So this video, Kamala again. All right. Let's see how this one pops up. Boom. All right. Let's start the audio. I'm going to expand that so you can see it a little bit better, I think, and start it up. Let's listen to what she says here. I think it's about elections. Here you go, Kamala. Let us have it.
Because as we all know, elections matter. And when folks vote, they order what they want, and in this case, they got what they asked for. I went off script a little bit.
Bam. Bam. Now you know the truth has been revealed again. You vote for her, you're going to get what she's going to give you. And you're going to get exactly what she says. With the stroke of my pen, I'm coming after your guns. Stroke of my pen, I'm coming after your freedoms. Stroke of my pen, I'm going to charge you more taxes. Stroke of my pen, stroke of my pen, stroke of my pen. I'm coming after you personally through my Department of Justice. Department of Justice. Through my FBI. Through my Homeland Security. Through my National Security Administration, through the State Department. You're not leaving because I have your passport. It's being revoked. Anyway, bam. Take her at her own words. They're right there, folks. They are right there in front of you. If you don't believe what she's telling you, you're insane. You're the epitome of insanity if you don't believe what she's telling you. She's laughing about it right there in that video. Let's bring up another one. You ready for this? All right, here we go. Whether you are or not, you're going to get it. It's going to take me a second again to bring that video up. I need to just downsize this screen here. Click on the next link. There we go. And see what she has to say here. This is going to be a little bit longer. This is a speech when she was a state attorney general to the importance of prison education. I'm coming from law enforcement. That was tried back in the 70s, I think, early 80s. We found out that no matter how hard we try to change repetitive criminals, they just repeat over and over again. That's why 3 strikes law was enacted. Gives them 3 chances. If they fail 3 times, then they're going to prison basically for life. Caused overcrowding in our prisons. Lots of them were people selling drugs. And some doing drugs. Yes, they were. All right, let me blow this up so you can hear it. This is going to be a little bit longer because she makes actually 2 points on this video. One, she's talking about how she's making this program. I'll let you listen. She's making this program, and then she gets to the end, and she talks about college students and that type of stuff, and then she's going to make her comment about how 18 to 24-year-olds are stupid. So I want to put it in kind of context so you can see the whole thing, how it builds up. All right? Without further ado, let me enlarge that so it's a full screen for you. And click on the go, and hopefully we're going to do you justice. Here we go.
So a moment of opportunity. In this, the biggest state in the country, born out of a crisis, a completely new approach to criminal justice policy that by inference has appreciated we have to bifurcate our approach to crime and distinguish between the low-level offender and the serious or violent offender. So what are we going to do? Well, part of my perspective comes from an initiative that we created. Latifah Simon is here. Tim Szilard, back when we were in our days in the DA's office in San Francisco, we created an initiative we call Back on Track. And it is the model going forward, we believe, Sonny Schwartz, for what can be done in the state of California and by extension the United States. And here's what we did. It was fabulous. And this is what I love about being elected. Because basically you don't have to ask anybody permission. So.
Oh, really? You don't have to ask anybody's permission. Did you hear that about being elected? Once you get elected, she doesn't care who you are as a citizen. She doesn't care what you think. You elected her, so now she has all power inclusive. She could do whatever she wants. Goes right on top of the one with the pen that we just listened to a few minutes ago. With the stroke of my pen, I could destroy your life. So now that I'm an elected politician, I am now the president of these United States. You're going to get it, just like in the last, you're going to get exactly what you voted for. All right? So, guys, can you see? This is the real Kamala Harris right here. This is her. Don't believe all the garbage you're seeing on TV right now. This is Kamala. This is what she's going to do to you. She is not a good person. She does not care about you. She doesn't care about me. She doesn't care about your kids or grandkids. If she did, for those 13 soldiers who lost their lives in Afghanistan on the mass exodus that we had there, that complete failure, has she contacted any of those families? Has she been with any of those families? All the people that are immigrants coming across the border that are dying in the desert, that are going under prostitution or sex slave trade or any of that. All the drugs coming into our country, the fentanyl that's killing around 100,000 Americans a year. Does she care about any of that? Let the truth be what truth is. She says one thing, I'm going to help America be this and that, and we're going to put the past behind us and move forward. But no, she's going to bring her past along with her because that's who she is. She's not going to change. And if you buy the stuff, you're dooming us all to this type of totalitarian government and this kind of system that's going to take our freedoms away. You have to realize that. You just have to realize what you're doing when you vote. Check the box for Kamala and any Democrat. With that said, let's keep going.
Pulled out a yellow pad and said, okay, I'm DA of a big city in the country. Let's focus on a specific population and see what we can do to re-enter them in a way that they don't reoffend. So we designed this program around the 18 through 24 mostly, but it was usually up to 30. First-time, low-level drug sales offender. But by extension, I'll say going forward, we should think about the 3 nons as a total population, right?
So here she goes again. She's talking about taking this criminal policy. You know what? This policy was done in the 1970s and early 80s before we went to 3 strikes. They found out it did not work. We've done it. We've been there. You want to know why crime is so high in California and why everybody's leaving that state? Taxes is one reason for sure. Probably one of the highest, if not the highest tax state in the country. Probably the most expensive state, if not the first, but might be second expensive state to live in the country. I can't afford to buy the house that I still have in California. It's way out of my pocketbook. My brother's house, I think I talked about, he paid $175 grand for it maybe 35 years ago. It's worth $1 million. Are you kidding me? It's nothing extravagant. It's a 1,500 square foot house on a 4,000 square foot lot in the middle of town, in a community that was built in late 60s or early 70s. It's not what you would traditionally think $1 million house is if you were to buy it. How much is the taxes on that place? The property taxes every year. My brother could not only not afford to buy his house, but he can't afford to probably pay the taxes if the state wasn't under the Proposition 13 tax rules. As being there for so long, his taxes are relatively low. Still, he's probably still paying $7,000 to $8,000 a year, much better than probably the $2,000 a month that $1 million tax rate would be on $1 million house in California. So that's it. Can you hear what she's saying to you? All right. So we've already tried this 18 to 24 thing. We've tried getting the criminals out of the hood, out of their neighborhoods, but they just go right back. They repeat and repeat and repeat. Why? Because when we let them out of jail, they just go back to where they were. There have been education programs in the jails, prisons for a long time. Most prisoners, if they want to, can earn a degree in state prison. It's a choice. They have all the time in the world to work on it there. They can make a better life for themselves. California's closed a lot of prisons. They're putting a lot of state prisoners in county jails. The county jails are overcrowded. They can't put anybody more in the jail. They can't arrest any because there's no space. So they're letting people out. Then the people get back out on the street. What do? Commit crimes. Why? Because there's no consequence for it. So her great act here that she's talking about, spreading it across the country, not only has it been done before and failed, but you can see right now it's failing again. It's the same exact plan they did previously. Nothing's changed. It's all brand new. No, it's not. It's just we forget about history. It's time to learn history, folks.
Right? And here's what we did. We recognized the fact that 18 through 24, when I was at Howard University and we were in college, we were 18 through 24, and you know what we were called? College kids. But when you turn 18 and you're in the system, you are considered an adult, period, without any regard to the fact that that is the very phase of life in which we have invested billions of dollars in colleges and universities, knowing that is the prime phase of life during which we mold and shape and direct someone to become a productive adult. What's the other thing we know about this population? And it's a specific phase of life. Remember, age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions. So we
I'm trying not to laugh too hard. They make really bad decisions. And that's why we put them in dormitories. And they have an administrative assistant there to kind of oversee and overwatch them. So that puts it in context. She's talking about these same 18 to 24-year-olds in prison. Then she's talking about herself as she went to college, called kids. Yeah, we still kind of call our, well, maybe not so much anymore. We call them, what we call them, young adults, something like that now. But she is right about one point. Our colleges and universities are molding and shaping our children, our kids, our next generation into communist socialists and lying to them and not giving them the history of America. She is so right as far as that goes. Are they going to go into college and come out as good citizens, reproducing and doing our economy? They're not if there's no economy, to grow and be free in. So she's saying we should teach and educating, but they're using it as a way to corrupt our kids, take them down a path of communism, of Marxism, of that type of path, brainwashing them basically at the college level. They're young. I was kind of open to stuff from my professors and so forth when I was younger in college. I didn't know any better. I was an adult. I went through my 12 years of high school and so forth. But when I got into college, I'm soaking in everything. It's all coming into me, just like it does for our children. But at the same time, depending on the professor or the teacher, maybe not so more when I went to school back in the 80s and 90s for the most part. Today, they are being brainwashed into a lot of things. Our college administrators are allowing this to happen on our watch, people. We're spending all this money, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. I think the student debt is somewhere around 1.5 to 1.8 to $3 trillion. It's somewhere in that ballpark. That's a lot of money, a lot of student loans out there. So yeah, it's costing us a lot, and we're allowing these institutions to mold or shape our kids into not into industrious growing, business growing entrepreneurs, but into Marxist people that are getting into these organizations and group and destroying America. I mean, all you got to do is look at the college campuses, especially the Ivy League schools that all this Hamas stuff was happening on at the end of the school year last year, and it started into the summer, and then it started right at the bat. If you can remember this school year in colleges and universities, it was starting again, and it just kind of disappeared. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think it's just disappeared all of a sudden? You want to know why? Here it is. Because Kamala and the Democratic Party told them to stop. Stop protesting. You're going to hurt my chances of being elected. Yes, that's what's going on, folks. As soon as it's done, as soon as the election's done, guess what's going to ramp up? Especially if Kamala wins. It's going to ramp back up in the colleges and universities. It may ramp up again too if Trump wins. That'll be interesting to see, because they're not going to want Trump to be president, just like Iran. It's got some assassination attempts going on Trump, trying to kill him as well. The Democrats are in the same. I mean, there's a struggle right now. I've heard from different Secret Service people that have been on the news and on the internet talking about how Trump's Secret Service security is not where it should be. And if you look at what happened, not only in Butler, Pennsylvania, but you look at what happened at Mar-a-Lago in Florida at his place, the golf place there, I would say, and I said this 4 or 5 months ago, I think, when I predicted Trump's first attempted assassination. I said, Trump, you need to hire more security of your own for some of this stuff, because the Secret Service is just not going to do it. They're just not. There's nothing better for the Democratic Party or Kamala Harris or any of those than Trump being assassinated at the last minute. There's just nothing better for him. They're not going to really try to stop it. In fact, some of the information that's come out about this last shooter, Ruth, R-O-U-T-H, about him is that they're letting the information come out about him so it kind of influences others. He put out like a $150,000 contract on Trump. So why would you release that to public knowledge unless you're trying to tell others to go out there and kill Trump? I don't know if he's got 150 grand in the first place, but they're almost like baiting these people. Please, give it your best shot. Give it your literally, give it your best shot. Give it your best try. Go after Trump while you can. But go back to Kamala on this comment, this 24 or 18 to 24, folks. That's her mindset. You're all kids out there. You're idiots. Let us mold you and shape you into little communists so we can control you and tell you how to live your life. That's what she's going to do. She just told you that in that very first video. And in the second one, I'm elected. I can make decisions now without any repercussions. And you voted for me, so you get what you get because you voted for me. And if you don't take into consideration what she's done in these videos, what she's done over the last 4 years, let's forget about the past. We're moving forward. That's so democratic. We don't want to know history because we're going to make everything so great for everyone in America. All we're going to do is look at the past and see what the future is going to look like. That's it. And I'm not just talking about the last 4 years. That's why I had the Reagan videos that were there. If you've been paying attention at all, you can see how Reagan was so right back then in his final address about, if we don't protect democracy, if we don't teach our kids the right way and plan, if we don't have those conversations with them at night at the dinner table, America is going to fade away. It's often said, totalitarianism, the American system of government, our freedoms and so forth are just one generation away. And if the left can teach our kids and train them to be compliant little communists and follow the Marxist way and do as they're told and not do as they think, then we control them, and that's what we want. Destroy the family, destroy religion, destroy our culture, destroy all that so we can build a new one under Marxism. That's where we are, folks. With that said, I think I'm done for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some information. I'm going to come back probably in the next video, hopefully maybe in the next couple days, or if not, maybe in a week, where we talk about some of the other videos, old videos about Kamala and what she said and what she's done in the past, and how that's in contrast to what she's saying today. All I can say is take what she said in the past, and if she did that stuff since then, why would she change now for the future? Why would she? Does she just want your vote? Is she trying to make you feel guilty and feel like she's there for you? She's the big mama bear that's going to take care of all of us Americans. That's not her job. Her job is to defend and protect the United States of America from intruders, foreign and domestic, right? And she's letting all the intruders come across the border. Ukraine and Russia are on fire. The Middle East is on fire. And soon to be, it's already started. A little ignition light is already on. China's going after the Philippines and the South China Sea, our ally. What have you heard about that, right? It's happening already. That's the kind of like the first step, gaining that area of control so you can keep the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet at bay, keep them at bay in a way, because they can set fighters and stuff out in the air and control that airspace around the southern part of Japan and Taiwan. That's their first step. Eventually you're going to see North Korea, maybe. I think it's probably going to happen within the next 20 years or less if everything moves towards China's direction. North Korea is going to reinvade South Korea. They're going to have a nuclear bomb. They'll drop one on Seoul. Seoul Korea is just going to surrender and give up. And the next thing you know, that whole peninsula is communist Korea, one single country. If China and Russia stay together, Russia's already started to move some of their nuclear missile submarines down from the North Sea, down into Kamchatka in the Pacific Ocean area, the Northern Pacific Ocean, which will challenge anything kind of in the Gulf of Alaska area down to the top of Japan, and then a little bit towards the coastline of the United States and Canada. So we're already seeing those things happening. China has I think the largest fleet now, naval fleet in the world, a little over 300 ships, while the United States has dropped from for around 600 ships, probably, 30 years ago, to I think they're just under 200 ships now. So that is not a good thing for us. Not that navies are going to last that long in today's world, because you can see with a satellite, you can send a nuke missile out and you can take out 5, 10, 6, 7 ships, boom, just with a tactical nuke hitting right above them somewhere. So not that navies are going to be around much longer, but for little hostile things like what's going on right now in Iraq and in Yemen and the Red Sea and so forth through there, where they bring commerce up and into the Mediterranean. Well, that's all kind of blocked. There still may be a few ships going through. Most are going around the Horn of Africa, the bottom of Africa. So we have a fleet in the Mediterranean. There's always been one there. We have one now. I think there's 2 in the Indian Ocean, kind of sitting south of Iran. That's making us weak in the Pacific Ocean, where one of those fleets generally is in that direction. So there's less equipment there to challenge China's aggressiveness. So folks, if you want this person to be your president, she's going to be in charge of that. They don't have a good record over the last 4 years and the 8 years that Obama was there. They just don't have a good record. Crimea, the southern part of the Ukraine taken by the Russians then, Obama did nothing, right? In this scenario, since Biden, Russia's attacked Ukraine. Russia seems to be winning now. It's kind of like a back and forth, but Ukraine's running out of men, running out of people, running out of supplies. It's probably just a timetable when it's going to all happen, as far as Ukraine losing at this point. Everybody's kind of predicting it that way. But what's next for Taiwan? Once China kind of secures that South China Sea area, it kind of leaves the door open a little bit for Taiwan's invasion. The big difference there is the gap, the water. It's like a moat of a castle. Taiwan's a little island that sits right there off the coast of China, but you have this 30, 60 mile moat that's there. It might be bigger than that, I'm not sure. But you have that little moat, that water in between, where anybody that's coming in on an invasion fleet can be basically sunk, or, drop them by parachute. But if you have good air defenses, you're going to be able to shoot their troop planes down before they can actually parachute in. So it just depends on that type of thing. So anyway, it's not going to be good when that starts, and maybe South Korea going after, like I said, or North Korea going after South Korea. That won't be good either. So we're opening up the world to the next world war is where we're going right now. And do you think Kamala Harris is the one to lead us in that direction? You better think about that. Think about your kids. Think about your grandkids. Think about yourself. That is not a good trajectory to put us on. The Democrats have failed totally for their 12 years of the last 16 years. Look at Trump. He got rid of ISIS in Syria and northern Iraq in months after he took office. He didn't give us any additional wars. He was slowly moving troops out of Iraq and moving troops out of Afghanistan. In fact, had a treaty with the Taliban to keep the air base there, the major air base, American, and but withdraw from the rest of the country. And no Americans killed. I think it was in 18 months when that agreement was made. And then Biden comes in and screws the whole thing up. Evacuates the country, leaves thousands of Americans behind, leaves thousands of Afghans who fought on the American side that probably are all in prison and or dead at this point, and left all the women to put masks back on, burqas back on, basically become sex objects and not be able to go to school or be part of anything of realness in Afghanistan. That's what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did. She says, I agree 110% with him, or I was part of the final decision as far as pulling our troops out. And I'm proud of that. Listen to her. She's proud of it. Take her at her word, folks. It's not just about us here in America and having our little discussion. Is that the person you want to be the leader of America and the free world? She is not the right person. She's a joke. I'm not saying Trump's 1,000 times better. He's 100 times better because we had no incidents while he was the president. North Korea was compliant. They were talking to each other. We were talking to them for the first time in 70 years, 60, 70 years, right? Since the Korean War. China, they stayed within their borders. They weren't challenging the Philippines or anybody else. They didn't invade. Russia didn't invade Ukraine under Trump's watch. The world was at peace. Israel was not under attack by Iran or the Hezbollah or Hamas, who are their supporters, who are supported by Iran. Folks, just look around you and use your common sense and see the facts. Get this big Trump thing out of your head. Get it out. It's not good. You've been lied to, propagandized to for how long? Since 2016 now, at least 2016. If you can come back with one thing Trump actually did that was bad, put it in the comments. I'd love to see it, and we can have a discussion about it on my next video. With that said, I am done. You guys have a great day. This is The Truth is Simple. I'm Dave Corm, your host. Next time we'll talk. We're going to show much more about Kamala's history, and we'll go from there. You guys have a great day, and God bless America, and don't forget to vote for Republican. Take care.